Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday morning podcast. And I'm just checking in on you. I got bogged down in the mud on that one. I didn't think I was going to pull myself out, but you know what? I reached down deep, showed what I had in me, showed what I had in me. Anyways, yeah, you know what? It's nice to be here. It's nice to be back out here in sunny L.A. after going back to New York. It was chilly for old Billy back there in New York City. I'm getting soft out here, and you know what? I love it. I fucking love it. That's the big thing that East Coast people always say when you go out west. Hey, don't lose your edge, bro. Don't be getting all Hollywood on me, dude. It's like, dude. You're basically telling me don't become happy. That's what you're saying. Don't be getting too happy. What are you going to do, dude? You going to walk around? You going to get some sandals? Really? You fucking toes hanging out? Oh, yeah, whatever, dude. Wearing some fucking clam diggers? No, it's just nice. I went back there and I'm one of these fucking LA people now. I don't really have a winter coat. I have a pea coat. You know, it's funny, this woman was breaking my balls telling me it wasn't a real one because I didn't get it at the Army-Navy store. It's like those fucking things, that's like wearing thick pajamas. Peacoat doesn't work the second it's below 40 degrees. It's one of those, you know what? It's got a mid-range jumper. That's all that fucking coat has. You know what I mean? It can't run the court, doesn't play any fucking D. It's too fucking hot. You know, once you get to 58 degrees, it's too fucking hot to wear that coat. Way too hot. 55, right? That coat basically exists from about 39 degrees to maybe 51. You know what I mean? If you get a decent one. Like I bought a decent one. Actually, Nia bought me a decent one. But she used my money to do it. So, you know what I mean? Technically, she fucking used my money. So I guess I bought it. You know, I guess I do have an assistant. It's my wife. Who has access to all my funds. You got to do that with your wife. You know what I mean? Just give her access to all your funds. It just gives you so much leverage in an argument. Just use that next time. You don't put your shoes over here. You were too loud. You were snoring. Just, honey, you have access to all of my funds. Do you understand that? You have access to all my funds. I go to an airport and leave you here with access to all. I don't even know what I'm going to come back to. Is there even going to be anything here? Now, what is the problem with the fucking glass that I didn't wash? I always make Nia out like she's a nag. She really isn't. But it's just, I guess it's just the fear of being with somebody that they can take you for everything you got. Prenup doesn't mean shit out here in California. You know what I mean? You know what a prenup is in California? That's like when there's a blitz and the fullback misses the assignment. That's what the prenup is. You think that fucker's going to pick up that fucking Lawrence Taylor wannabe coming right around the outside? Nah, he missed it. He's sitting there with happy feet. Where is he? He's behind you. And then you get the old right there, Fred, right? Where your fucking back of your helmet hits the middle of your spine as your head snaps back. That's what a fucking prenup is out here. So, anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about here. I just get back from New York City. I had such a fucking great time going back there, doing the 5th annual Patrice O'Neal benefit right out of the gate. Thank you to everyone that came down to the show. The show was unbelievable. I wasn't there last year because of the snow. I got snowed in. But of the 4 that I've seen, that might have been the strongest show that we've had. We've always had strong shows, but there was something about that show. It was like the perfect level of his friends, of new guys that were influenced by him, and just the ball breaking that was going on during the fucking show. Jesus Christ. Rich Voss making fun of Keith Robinson. Fucking... What's his face? I think Norton, of course. Norton had the best line. He was talking about how funny Keith was. He goes, you should have had a stroke 15 years ago. He goes, I don't understand how Keith had a stroke, and he still talks. He's still easier to understand than Rich Voss. Those are probably two of the best ones. And Voss had like this stupid fucking. He had like this paisley shirt from like the early 90s. Like every drum instructional video that I bought from the early 90s where they'd have those jazz guys who were such good musicians. You know, you get so good that your music sucks after a while. They were playing like that 94-7 The Wave, that smooth jazz shit, you know. He had one of those shirts, and then he had like a fucking Justin Timberlake does fucking Bing Crosby, one of those fucking hipster hats that even hipsters stopped wearing those things like 10 years ago. And it was blue on blue. So we were backstage, and, you know, all of us fucking jaded people are going, no, Rich, it looks good. No, you should wear it. Because he wasn't sure about it. And Pete Davidson, the new kid, right? New kid, he's already on fucking SNL. That's how old I am. He was actually telling Rich, going, Rich, you can't wear that. It looks terrible. And I was finally like, Pete, shut up. The whole game is that we know it looks, don't tell him that. And he just started laughing. Then he went along with it. And I believe he took it off his head at the end of his set. We had such a great time, and everybody fucking killed. Right out of the gate, we had Dan Soda went up first after Voss. And he went up there and absolutely just fucking murdered. It was like he'd been doing theaters his whole life. Keith killed. Pete Davidson destroyed. Even though he did this whole bit about there's no excuse to go bald. It kind of bugged me in this day and age. Saying there was enough medicine out there or something like that. Then Jim Norton crushed. Then it was Dave Attell. And then Leslie Jones. And then I had to mop up in the end after all those guys fucking killing, man. It was awesome. And thank you, of course, to Maureen Tarrant, who's the real force behind the whole thing. She puts the whole thing together. She gets all us ADD comics somehow to show up at the same place at the right time every year. She deals with all the finances of renting out the place. She deals with the whole fucking thing. So special thanks to her. And once again, everybody that came out, everybody at the stand, you know, Dave and Chris down at the stand for always hooking us up with the after party and all that shit. Just had a great fucking time. And that's it. All right. Until we do it again next year. It really is I got to be honest, it's my favorite fucking gig of the year. It's so much fucking fun because none of these guys I ever get to work with them now because they all headline. Now if I get to see them again, it's just such a fucking great time. Jim Florentine just came down to hang out. I'm trying to make sure I remember everybody, but it was great. And I was in New York for a couple of days and had a great time. Like the first night, Monday night, I just went out and I started hitting all these clubs that I used to, I used to work out in back in the day when I lived in New York. I went to Caroline's first and jumped on this show. And, I was waiting to go on. And as always, I was always end up seeing somebody funny. It's comedian Carmen Lynch, who I've seen a bunch of times before, but I hadn't seen her in a while. I'm not going to tell you the bit, but she did some bit that was fucking hilarious. And I believe she's going to be on Stephen Colbert this Friday night. And she told me she was going to be doing the bit. The bit's basically about people that can sleep through anything. So anyways, I went up and I just go on stage and I do the shit that I'm working on and some older shit that I'm bringing back that I'm putting a new spin on. And it was just wire to wire, this perfect fucking set. I was taping it, I have a 0.2% chance that I'll actually go back and listen to it. But the fact that I'm recording it makes me feel good, right? And I was actually going to listen to it because I got these gigs coming up in Phoenix, right? I got to get my shit together. And this set ends. And for whatever fucking reason, I never touched the phone. It just shut off after like 2 minutes. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. So then I go up to the comp, but I still felt great, And I was like, I'll remember the shit. So I go up to the comic strip, which was my home club when I first got to New York, way back in the day with Lucian, the late, great Lucian Holt, who would sit there. You'd walk in and be like, hey, Lucian, hey, I'm a comedian. I just moved down from Boston. And you would just go, yeah, I already have enough white guys. He would literally say that. I already have enough white guys. And I remember all these white guy comics would get so fucking mad and be like, you see, it's the same thing. That's fucking reverse racism. It's like, no, it isn't. It isn't. You know what the fuck he's saying. He has a million of you. And if you're just going to be another fucking white guy that grew up in a fucking cul-de-sac, he already has it. It's like it's a grocery store. All right? And he's got fucking ears of corn stacked up to the fucking, ceiling, and you come in, you want to buy a bushel? No. I don't. You got any chickpeas there, Freckles, right? So I knew what he meant when he said it. It's like, don't come in here and just be doing the what's the deal with shit. So I remember when he said that to me, I just was a little frustrated, but I just said to myself, I'll get in here. I'll get in here eventually. But, oh man, I remember there was so many fucking white dude comics would get so mad at that. You could never say that to another fucking group of people. It's like, yeah. But it's white on white, so you can get away with it. You know what I mean? Like black people can say fucked up shit to each other. You can keep it in-house. It's like your family. You can say whatever the fuck you want. You're still going to sit down for Thanksgiving together. You have to. Your family. You know what I mean? It's the same fucking thing. I remember exactly where I was. I just remember him smiling and nodding, and he closed his eyes. And I was like, oh, my God, this guy's actually an open person. I'd love to get a spot here. And he's smiling, nodding. I'm like, here it comes. Maybe he's going to give me a phone number or something. I already have enough white guys. I was sitting there with my stupid backpack, just walking away. We always used the reference of Bill Bixby at the end of the Hulk, when he would just be walking down the road with that sad piano music. That's how I left the club. But I had my little positive fucking things that I would say to myself to get me to go over to the next club. Who the fuck was over at Stand Up New York back in the day? He was a good dude, and I remember he had a dead tooth. That's all I remember, and I would go in there, and he didn't sugarcoat it at all. When I walked up to him, I remember telling him that I was a new comic, and the look of fucking pain on he just sort of looked up, like I was talking to the side of his head, and he just looked up, and he just made this face, literally, like he had a major operation, and this is the first time they were removing the bandages. That was the look on his face when I talked to him. I think I actually petered out through the sentence. I was like, hey, whatever his name was, hey, so-and-so, my name's Bill Burr. I'm a comedian. I just moved down here from New York, and I just want to... Yeah. And then I just fucking walked away. So... all these years later, to still be able to go back to New York and walk into these clubs, and they still know who I am, and they'll actually put me on stage. The thrill of that and the privilege of that has never fucking gone away. So anyway, I go to the comic strip, and now I'm feeling all cocky because I just had a great set. So, I mean, all the years that I've done this, I never see the bomb coming after that. I'm feeling all fucking good about myself. I'm like, I'm going to go up, I'm going to do it just like I did it at Caroline's. It's going to come out perfectly. It's going to be fucking, minted into my brain, and this is going to be a nice cornerstone to start this next fucking hour, right? And, of course, I go in there. Nobody's paying attention. Small crowd. Somebody's ordering, and I don't know what was going on. There was this giant group of people right in the front, and I think I basically deduced that they all just had the ideal childhood, and they couldn't relate to anything I was saying. And I basically had to start over after every single joke. And of course, that was the show one of my friends came out to see me. And I didn't bomb, but it was like it was, those days where just nothing's going right. That's like what it was, except it was in a 15-minute set. I tell a joke, it would work. And then I'd try to build on that momentum, and then someone would be ordering really loud, and then I'd have to stop, and then I'd start over. It was just one thing after fucking another. So I was like, Jesus Christ. So then I get in a cab. This is a great thing about New York. You can do like a zillion spots. Jumped in a cab, and I went down to the new New York Comedy Club. Used to be run by Al Martin, and they redid the whole fucking thing. And that was a place that I did not have any good memories of for the first fucking 3 years that I went there. Not 3 years, but that place, of all the places I went to, as hard as the Boston Comedy Club, the New York Comedy Club was the one that made me contemplate packing up my shit and going home. That fucking place was the land of the misfit toys fucking comedians. And that was one of those comedy clubs where you walked in and there was like 100 headshots on the wall and not one picture was of anybody that made it. I just remember thinking shit like that. The Punchline in Atlanta used to be like that. Jamie Bendel runs it, right? I used to say, Jamie, for the love of fucking God, at least near when you walk on the stage, can you have some headshots here of people that actually were successful? They had like the headshot of every fucking comedian who ever tried to fucking make it, and they left it up on the wall. I mean, some of them turned out to be big-time writers and producers, but you don't know that. You only know the performers. So the New York Comedy Club was like that times like fucking 30. And, oh my God, did I have some brutal fucking sets in there. Brutal sets. That's the first place I saw Mike Bichetti. And oh man, that place. But anyway, so they did a whole facelift on that place. And like, it was funny, like psychologically, I went back to where I was when I first was coming down to New York. And I went in and I sort of recognized the place. It was still sort of the same floor plan. And it was a great club. The lobby had happy, hopeful colors painted on the walls and shit. And I went up and ended up having a great set there. And then after that, I went over to the Stand. And then after that, I met up with Virzi and DeRosa and some other people. We hung out. And it was perfect. It was just like, I remember this. This is what fucking living in New York was. Aside from me being chilly, it was perfect. And then early in the day, I found a place where I could play drums at some rehearsal spot. So it was like the perfect fucking day. And then like an asshole, I stayed out till like 3:30 in the fucking morning, drinking like an idiot. Like a fucking idiot. Woke up the next day, I felt like shit. I didn't eat for like the first 12 hours of the day. And then what do I have to start? I have a fucking burger and fries. I was trying to go my whole time not getting a slice of pizza in New York. Because I always do that because all the pizza out here fucking sucks. Even the shit that's good sucks compared to pizza on the East Coast. And I finally gave in after the Patrice benefit. I went to this place right next to the Stand. And I was like, I'm just going to get one slice. And then I walked in. I was like, oh, that one looks good too. And then I got two. Burned the shit out of the fucking roof of my mouth. I remember sitting there just going like, Bill, just let him cool off. Just let him cool off. I'm like, well, maybe I'll just take a little, when you try to go in, like, you ever see like the run to the litter trying to nurse off the mom, just kind of going, I was going in like that. I still burned the shit out of my mouth and kept fucking shoving it down my pie hole. So anyways, I could not have had a better fucking time. And, I got to tell you, man, that Patrice benefit, like we definitely have our work cut out for us. For next year. We already have a couple of people in mind that we're going to try to get to it, to get on the show next year. So there you go. So that's it. Can you tell I'm typing my password? Because I just start talking like half a mile an hour. And of course I didn't type it in right. Come on. Sorry, the mic's sliding down my chest here. There we go. All right. Let's move on here. Let me see here. Oh, for God's sakes. I already lost. I was going to try to hype my YouTube page. I don't even know where the fucking link is anymore. All right. Can I read a little bit of advertising here? Now that we're halfway through. And after the advertising, I'm going to tell you, I called in a certain person's radio show today. I called in Coach K and Dave Sims Basketball and Beyond show that's going to be airing tonight. February 23rd at 6 p.m. on Sirius XM Channel 84, the Sirius XM College Channel. And you know what's funny? I can't even fucking listen to it because I was driving my Jaguar, Jackie as I call her. Drives my wife nuts. The beautiful Jackie, driving her down the street. I did a spot at the store. This is before I went to New York. And it's been raining like crazy out here. And I was driving, turned down La Cienega, and I'm cruising along, and then I just hear Boom! Out of nowhere. It felt like I drove over something metal. And immediately the dashboard lights up, check air pressure in the car and the front right tire. And end up pulling into the gas station down there, and I had blown out the front fucking tire. I swear to God, my Prius could have taken that hit. But now I got the fucking sexy tires on the fucking Jaguar. And it's oh my God, adversity, right? Totally just fucking implodes. So then I was like, all right. I had the locking lugs on it and shit. And I'm like, fuck. Please tell me I got that thing in the glove box, which I did. I called AAA. I got the spare out and everything. And I was looking at the jack and all that type of shit. And it's just, I was too afraid. Two things. I paid for AAA, so I'm going to have someone change the tire. And then secondly, I was too afraid because the car's low to the ground. I didn't want to stick it underneath the fucking car, and God forbid if I fucking miss the frame, which I did a long time ago. Granted, I was absolutely shit-faced. I was with a friend of mine. It was the 80s. We were drinking and driving, and broad daylight, he gets a fucking flat, and I went to jack it up, and I put the jack underneath basically the floorboards and just put it right through the car. So anyways, they ended up changing the tire and everything, so I had that awful spare tire, and now my car's getting fixed. I took it over there because I want to make sure I didn't fuck up the suspension, because I ran over the crater with my back right tire too. So, long story short, I came home that night. My wife fucking gave me the little emasculating shot. She's like, I can't believe you didn't do it yourself. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, I could if I wanted to. I mean, I have, I got AAA. So, I mean, back in the day, I used to change tires. I'll never forget this. I started telling this story about how I changed the tire on my fucking Ford Ranger on the driver's side, on the side of Route 128 at 3 a.m, and how I fucking jacked it up and I forgot to loosen the lug, so I had to bring it back down again to take it off. And I realized the entire time I was telling her that was because I was embarrassed that I felt like she questioned my manhood, like I was some pussy that I called AAA. But I do have to tell you this. I actually... even if I knew exactly what the fuck I was doing, all I had was that little right angle fucking, thing to take the lugs off. And I just assumed that they had over torqued the fucking thing. And then there was no way I was going to get that off unless I had another piece of pipe to get the leverage, which is what I learned back in the day with the old 83 Ford Ranger. But the guy showed up. He goes, no, they tighten these by hand now, or at least they do a Jaguar. And he just took it off like butter. And I was just like, oh, Jesus. Maybe I could have done this. So now I'm obsessed with the fucking weird-ass jack that's in the trunk of my car. I should probably know how to do that. Hey, you know what? Maybe my wife was right. Maybe I am a pussy. I don't know. Let's fucking... You can't change your own tire, you fucking Mary. All right, black tux, everybody. Looking great for a wedding. You know what? Ryan Gosling does not shop here. Is that him? Was he's the guy in the fucking, that great movie, the musical, L.A. Story, whatever the fuck it's called. He wore the white tux, right? He went Roger Moore. The black tux, everybody. Looking great for a wedding or a special event has never been easier with thebblacktux.com, with high-quality rental suits and tuxedos delivered to your doorstep. The Black Tux is giving guys a new way to rent. And get this. The Black Tux offers free home try-ons so you can see the fit and feel the quality of your suits months before your event. The best part, it's completely done online. No trips to the tux shop required. TheBlackTux.com lets you create your look or choose from tons of stylistic selected outfits starting at just $95. These suits have a modern fit. Not like that old school fit where you just slung it over your shoulder with your junk hanging out. This is a modern fit and are made from fine Italian wool. Itchy, the highest quality on the rental market. And if you have any questions or issue, their expert customer care team has your back every step of the way. After ordering, your suit will arrive 14 days before your event, provided you give them that amount of time. Unless you're a shithead like me and you get it 2 days before. That's a full 2 weeks to try it on and make sure everything fits. If anything else is less than perfect, the Black Tux will send you a free replacement right away. When your event's over, just drop your rental back in the mail. It's that easy. By the way, if you get it 2 weeks before, you better watch what you eat. Don't start eating pasta and all that shit. You're going to pop your fucking cummerbund. Shipping is free both ways. How easy is that? Call to action. To get $20 off your purchase, visit thebblacktux.com/Burr. That's thebblacktux.com/Burr for $20 off your purchase. All right, what do we got next? We got Lyft. You know about Lyft, right? Right? It's the app that gets you a ride in 2 minutes, on demand, 24/7 for less than the cost of a cab. Please include all of the following points during your read. Well, of course I'm going to. You fucking put them here. I guess they're saying don't skip any. If you've tried Lyft, you know what I mean. With Lyft, you can just download the app, request a driver, and they show up in 3.5 minutes on average. That's really fast. He just fucking said 2 minutes. They have to get you a ride. Oh, he said in minutes, not 2 minutes. Sorry. My apologies to everybody at Lyft. Every Lyft driver is fully vetted through their 10-point safety standard, including criminal and DMV background checks. You'll know you'll get around quickly and safely. Unlike at that other one that rhymes with boober. They don't give a shit. As long as you have a face and a fucking car, right? Well, you need hands and feet. Basically that. If you have the basics of being a human being, they don't give a shit. Stand there with a bloody axe. What, you got a hatchback? All right. Lyft drivers are rated after every ride. It's only the best stick around. That's hilarious. I just picture people getting cut in August before the football season. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm sure you'll catch up. You'll catch on over at Uber. You don't have to worry about getting into a filthy car with some creepy dude. With Lyft, you can tip in the app, which is obviously leads to happier drivers. I mean, 9 out of 10 Lyft rides get a perfect 5-star rating from the passengers. It's just a better all-around experience. Plus, there's a lot of people that are just too mean to not do that. You know what I mean? I think 4 is more legit than a 5. You know what I mean? 5 is just like, hey, you know what I mean? You got me there. Good for you. I'll do you a solid and give you a 5. You know what I mean? 5, would you get a fucking hand job there? He must have had the bucket seats, right? He could reach back and give you a little helper. What's with you tonight? You're so relaxed. I'll tell you, I'm loving Lyft. Bigger isn't always better. Lyft isn't the biggest ride-sharing app, but it's the fastest growing and highest rating one. I'm talking quality over quantity. Thanks to Lyft, you got an easy way to avoid drunk driving. You never have to bum a ride. You never have to worry about parking. A lot of people are actually getting rid of their car, and relying on Lyft to get around. Are a lot of people doing that? What exactly is that number or percentage? That's a word I use in a fucking argument. Who said that? A lot of people. And you know what? I don't blame them, evidently. Right now, Lyft is offering our listeners a special deal. Get 3 free rides up to $10 each. That's up to a $30 value when you enter my promo code Bill Burr. Just download the free Lyft app and enter promo code Bill Burr in the payment section. You'll start with 3 free rides up to $10 each. That's up to a $30 value if you can't do basic math. That's promo code Bill Burr. Enter promo code Bill Burr. By the way, in the middle of that, I know I did suggest a man reaching back, giving another man a hand job. That's not a gay act when you're paying for a ride. Okay, if that's just a friend of yours, even if you're in the back seat, that would be a homosexual act. But this, look it up. If you look it up on taxidrive/handjobs.com, you'll see that I'm actually telling the truth. All right, what do we got next here? What do we got next? Wait, I found my YouTube channel. Beautiful. Okay. Blue Apron, everybody. Are you hungry? You want to fill up your fucking pie hole? Well, you got to go to Blue Apron. Blue Apron. Talk about how good it feels to cook for yourself. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love cooking for myself. Oh, I feel it down in my loins every time I pour myself a bowl of grape nuts or corn checks or wheat checks. I'm a big fan. of the Chex cereal. It feels good that you made yourself something. It feels better to cook for somebody else, right? Then you get the praise. Oh my God, you made this? You made it for me? My dad walked out on me when he was trying to make me supper one night. I'll never forget it. This means so much. Not all ingredients are created equal. Dad! Fresh, high-quality ingredients make a real difference, so it's important to know where your food comes from. Talk about your personal experience with Blue Apron, the meal you cooked, the ingredients overall, how it tasted, how it felt cooking it, etc. This has been my experience. They sent me a fucking card, the $30 fucking worth of free food or whatever the fuck it is, and I haven't used it yet. So that's been my experience, but I'm going to try it. That's a threat. I'm going to try it, and when I try it, I'm going to tell you guys about my experience. I want to talk to you about the white apron that I put it on when I cooked the Blue Apron, you know? And right there you have blue. And then my pubes are red, right? Red, white, and blue. That's America right there. You want some lentil soup? Choose from a variety of new recipes each week. Or let Blue Apron's culinary team surprise you. Hey, big boy, what do? Oh, I'm on a culinary team. Is that rugby? Recipes are not repeated within a year, so you'll never get bored. What if you like a meal? Can you fucking order it again? Nah, you gotta wait. It's like Halley's Comet, but with food, and it's every year. Blue Apron has several delivery options, so you can choose for what fits your needs. And there's no weekly commitment, so you don't get deliveries when you want them. So you only get deliveries when you want them. Hey, what if you're just a fat fuck and you're content with it? Can you just order like a different Sunday every night? I tell you, you're fat when you eat a Sunday on a Monday, Sorry. Each meal comes with a step-by-step, easy-to-follow recipe card and pre-portioned ingredients and can be prepared in 40 minutes or less. This is like when your parents help you with your homework. And the next day you got the star on your forehead and you felt a little queasy. I didn't really earn it, did I? Blue Apron's freshness guarantee promises that every ingredient in your delivery arrives ready to cook, or they'll make it right. I like that. That's very vague. They'll make it right. They sent a fucking hooker over. Check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals for free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/Burr. You will love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. So don't wait. That's blueapron.com/Burr. Blue Apron, a better way to cook. All right, and lastly but not leastly, here we go. Simply Safe. Earlier this month, CES, the Consumer's Electronics Show, wrapped up. CES is this incredible trade show. The fuck are we talking about here? Okay, so there's this trade show called Consumer Electronics Show, and evidently it's an incredible trade show. All the big tech companies unveil their newest innovations. Oh, my God. Can you imagine the fucking nerds at that thing? It's like seeing the future in front of your eyes. Seeing the future while smelling blue balls. That's disgusting. Our sponsor, Simply Safe Home Security, was there. And they had one of the most talked about products on the show, the new Simply Safe Security Camera. I already like the sound of this. The camera connects to the sensors in your alarm system. If an intruder tries to break in, the camera will automatically start recording. Then not only will Simply Safe call the police, you'll have the actual evidence. So when the police arrive, you can say, here's the guy. It's truly incredible. Here's the guy. He'd be that one with the gun to my head. I got it all on video. Not this part, the part where he walked in. Plus, with Simply Safe, you can check in at home anytime, anywhere. I like that. Just live stream HD footage directly to your smartphone. If you want to see for yourself what Simply Safe's brilliant technology can do for your home, go to simplysafeburr.com today. You'll even get a special 10% discount. That's simplysafeburr.com for 10% off your home security system. Simplysafeburr.com. Oh, shit. I just thought of a good scene in a fucking movie that I'm never going to write. All right, so you get the fucking Simply Safe system. Simply Safe system. And you're on the road and you check in to your fucking home to see what's going on. And not only do you see somebody sneaking up to walk to break into it, it's actually you. And you're like, what the fuck? How can I be there breaking into my shit? Why would I not be me but be someone else stealing my own shit? And then you realize it's the robot version of you. Boom, 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 right? You could sell that to Tom Cruise as he was walking to his jet. Just yelling through the chain link fence, Tom! Simply say you're on the road. You see yourself breaking into your own house because you're a robot. And he would just stop halfway up the fucking stairs. And he'd look over his shoulder like Bruce Lee and Bruce Willis and Die Hard. And he'd be like, what did you say? I said it's a fucking robot. But it's you. So you'd play both of them so there's a chance you can win a fucking Oscar. All right? Then he'd be right up fucking against the chain link fence, right? His nose poking through one of the holes. And you go to hand him the script, and then he'd be like, I'm sorry, you got to go through the proper channels. It's just the way it works. Okay, so now you're on your way over to Scientology. Right? You fucking pull in. Right? Somebody with a fucking big smile, but just a weird look in their eye greets you. They're like, Mr. Cruz said you were going to come over with your fucking robot movie about him. And I'd be like, yeah, I was. And they'd be like, would you like some tea? And I'd be like, I'm not drinking fucking anything in this building. All right? Okay? Just take the fucking script. You know, it's some big fucking place because they got all that money to be echoing. Take the fucking script. You know? Something like that. Look at that. I gave you a fucking idea for a movie. I told you who to sell it to. Oh, shit. Calling into the podcast. Hey, Paul Virzi, you're on the Monday Morning Podcast. I got you on speaker.
It's Thursday.
Well, it's the Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday Morning Podcast.
Monday Morning Podcast listeners.
And guess what, Paul? Just checking in on you.
Oh, nice. How's it going out there?
It's going great, Paul. I got to talk to Coach K today.
That's fucking nuts, dude. Did he say anything about that loss last night?
I asked him really quickly. I said, what's it like as a coach to lose a game on a last-second banking three-point shot like fucking 10 feet behind the arc? I go, does that kill you as a coach? And he said, no. He said, no. You know what kills me is having 6 fast breaks in the first half and not getting any points on those. And it's classic afterwards. I thought about it. It's just like, yeah, he doesn't sweat the stuff he can't control, but it's the stuff that you can control that you should follow through on. So there you go, people. There's a little teaser. If you want to listen tonight on Sirius XM, channel 84 at 6 p.m.
That's fucking awesome. At least you didn't ask him something stupid. I would have asked him something stupid. I would have been like, what was it like coaching, like acting like the kids are bigger than him? I'd have been like, what's it like coaching Christian Leitner? That's so cool. Was he cool though? Like, was he?
Yeah, no, he was totally cool. I have an idea. If I ever get him on the podcast, I know how I'm going to interview him, but that I'm not going to give away. I'll tell you afterwards. I got a great idea on how to interview him because I figure he's been asked these same 1,000 basketball questions a million times over. And my goal would be to do an interview and try to see, just ask him.
I know it. Yeah, I know it. You're going to be like, so what do you think of cars? Start making them talk about something.
No.
Right?
It'd be a little more involved than that. I wouldn't have him there. What do you think of cars? He'd be like, I don't know. I take one to the fucking venue, you idiot.
I drive one.
Yeah, I drive one. I drive one all the time. Hey, dude, I got to call you right back because I need to wrap this podcast up and then I got to go be daddy daycare. All right?
Do that, Bill.
Hey, Paul, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Okay, it's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Oh, Paul.
Especially since we're across the country, Bill.
Oh, God bless you, Paul. God bless you and everything that is that you do.
I miss you, Bill.
Oh, I'll see you.
Later.
Anyway, so there you go. Hey, look at that. First fucking call. And see, I have the technology. Everybody tries to get these fucking DSL lines or whatever the fuck they are, UPS shit. All you do is you just put your iPhone on speaker and you hold it up to the mic. I think it gives it more of a quality sound. All these fucking shows, they try to make it sound like the person's in the room. They're not in the room. They're calling me on a cell phone, and goddamn it, that's what it's going to sound like. All right. So there you go. Somebody fucking write that. Somebody write that movie and go make a bunch of money. Go loiter around an airport. See how long you can fucking do that. All right. I think that's it. Right? Oh, so this is what I learned. The third time I was on stage at the New York Comedy Club, I forgot to tell you, I'm fucking doing my set, and now it's going great. I'm having a great set. By the way, I didn't have a good set at the comic strip, and of course, the recorder didn't shut off. I'm having a great fucking set at New York, And I look down, and Paul Virzi's calling me. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Then I go, wait a minute. I go, does the fucking recorder shut off if somebody calls? Millennials, can you help me out? And they're all like, yes, it shuts off. And I go, does it come back on after the call? And somebody said, yes. Well, guess what? It doesn't. It shuts off. So to all you comedians out there, if you're taping a set, if you're feeling it, you know, you might want to reach over and fucking put it in airplane mode in case your mother calls. You know, then you got to give her shit. You know, thanks a lot, Ma. You ruined my new dick joke. All right, that's the podcast for this week. Not the podcast, just me checking in on you. Enjoy the music. Now you got another half hour of shit coming your way. That's, I don't know, it's some greatest hit stuff from a podcast from, I don't know, time gone by. Is that what I say? And here's my YouTube channel. By the way, let's see here. It's youtube.com/user/Monday Morning Podcast. And guess what? I'm going to start making fucking videos, and I'm going to upload it. I finally, I never videotaped the fucking podcast. I'm going to start making videos, putting it up there. Starting when I go to Phoenix, I'm going to start doing the tours of the cities again. I got some other ideas of some shit that I can do to add to the channel and finally try and build that stuff up. So that's it. Once again, thank you to everybody who did the Patrice benefit: Rich Voss, Dan Soder, Keith Robinson, Pete Davidson, Jim Norton, David Tell, Leslie Jones, and Maureen Tarrant for putting the whole fucking thing together. And thank you to everybody who came out. We will do it again next year. And I think I already know who I'm going to reach out to try to get on the show. That's it. Go fuck yourselves. Have a great weekend, you cunts, and I'll talk to you on Monday.